Okay, it is 4:05 by the clock on the wall. So welcome. Today we'll be recording today's ritual. In fact, we are already recording today's ritual, right? Okay. Most of the focus today will be on the ritualist presenting, or right in front of us. If you do not wish to appear on camera, please let us know. We can adjust. And well, honestly, you're not going to be on camera unless you stand up. And right. So that doesn't quite. Okay. If you're online, you can keep your camera off and let us know in the chat if you don't wish to be seen. So on that, welcome to Gaia Community. We're an Earth-based pagan Unitarian Universalist congregation. Meeting here every Sunday and online at 4. I am Master of Ceremony for today, Devin Scroggum. I am in a white shirt and black pants and kind of a stole that was gifted to us. Let's see. David is doing tech, and I will not name the rituals for today because some of them may be aspecting, and I will just let them be. We have the Temple of Chiron. Sorry, I keep mispronouncing that. Temple of Ma'at. Chiron.
Chiron's a different guy.
Chiron. Temple of Chiron. Temple of Ma'at and Temple of Hekate. Please silence your beepy things so as not to disturb ritual and to allow us to all be fully present. If you're viewing this at home, you might want to light a chalice for yourselves. And now would be a good time to get said chalice out. Our chalice today is adapted from This Sacred Space by Cheryl Block. We will do this call and response. Your response is in this sacred space. We gather together.
In this sacred space.
Let us be still in the quiet.
In this sacred space.
Let our hearts open as a butterfly's wings.
In this sacred space.
May the glow of this light shine within us.
In this sacred space.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.
And today the winner of last year's patron selection, the Fool. You who have guided us on this journey and still have some guiding to do. We welcome you. And may your footsteps lead us in the right direction. Welcome, Fool.
Welcome, Fool.
So, welcome to the first week of Gaia Community's Patron Selection Festival. We have been annually since 2003, when we first learned of the ancient Egyptian practice of temples holding essentially fundraisers and gathering as much resources as they could throughout a week, then become the patron temple of the city for the year. They would then feed people and do all the other necessary things that the leading temple, would support. We, however, in the past few years, have decided to move away from a oligarchic approach to raising money, and instead doing this very democratically with a
ranked choice voting.
With ranked choice voting. So you will see a presentation for 3 different powers today. You'll see a presentation in 2 weeks for 3 other powers. After that, there will be a ranked choice voting that goes online. And then you can choose you can rank all 6 of these powers as to where you think they should be and how they would serve the community. Today, as stated earlier, we have Chiron, Ma'at, and Hekate. The ritual will begin with the grounding, followed by a trance journey to co-create the temple of many powers. We will visit the temples of today's 3 patron candidates, hear their presentations, and afterward, there will be time to ask questions as you wish. After listening to their advocates, we'll return to our present space and conclude with announcements, an offering, and our standard closing. So let us begin. Before we travel to the temple of all power, where these beings dwell, I invite you to take this time to check in with yourself. Begin with a deep breath. As you continue breathing slowly and deeply, consider the following. How do I feel today? What values matter to me right now? What am I seeking in matters of spiritual kinship? What needs do I seek to have fulfilled by this community? Which values and works put forward by the powers here do I think will best help Gaia Community become a place that will serve those needs? As you consider these points, know that your needs are valued, and this selection process has as its goal the meeting of the most spiritual needs for the most members. The selection process will in no way require any member or attendee to adopt a personal patron relationship with any of the powers introduced or selected. As with all our rights, you are invited to participate at the level you feel comfortable with. Keeping your stewardship of self and belief in the good of others forward in your mind, I invite you to settle into a comfortable position. Temples, you may do what you need to do if you need to do anything. I invite you all. Probably can't see that, can you? I invite you all to focus on the flame in the chalice. Breathe deeply and watch that single point of light as it moves and dances. Let it grow. Let it fill all your attention, becoming the single most important thing. Let it burn away any distractions or concerns, brightening and filling your awareness. Let yourself begin to sense the sacredness of the space around you, the inherent sacredness of all space upon this earth. In this sacred space, we build a temple of our thoughts, intentions, imaginings, and will. We will construct around us a temple of many powers, a place you may have visited before, or maybe visiting today for the first time. Allow your inner eye to see this temple taking shape around us. Allow your inner ear to hear its sounds. We are building this temple together. You are invited to share your vision with the group. And we ask that when someone calls out some truth about this temple that we are building together, that you weave that into your own visualization, strengthening the space around us. What do you see when you look around this temple that we are building?
Tapestries.
Walls of rough cut stone, skillfully fitted together.
Notice its architecture, the materials of its construction, its layout, its color. What in here? What is here inside the temple?
Light from stained glass windows, making colored patterns on the floor.
What other details do you notice?
Large statues of gods and goddesses in their own colors.
People moving about, visiting.
What expressions of artistry fill you with awe?
Carvings.
Fountains,
Beautiful rugs laid out on the floor.
What do you see that lets you know that this is a sacred space?
candles,
Incense.
What do you see that tells you that there's power here? There's magic here. That there's the divine with us here.
it's a feeling.
Symbols.
Singing.
What do you hear inside this temple?
Chanting.
Drums,
Bells.
What other sounds come to you?
Running water. Laughter.
Voices in many tongues.
Is there music? Is there devotions?
Yes.
What do you hear that lets you know that others are with you in this place?
Whisper prayers.
Shouted prayers.
Singing.
What do you hear that tells you this place is holy?
The vibration.
What do you feel when you are standing inside this temple? What emotions surge up within you?
Protection and love.
Reverence.
Peace.
Guidance.
By this shared construction, we establish our sacred space, our place of power and protection, our connection to the many worlds and ways of worship. Blessed be.
Blessed
Blessed
be.
Blessed be.
Holy Queen of Sanctity, we hymn you, Hestia, whose abiding realm is Olympus, and the middle point of earth and the Delphic laurel tree. You dance around Apollo's towering temple, rejoicing both in the tripod's mantic voices and when Apollo sounds the 7 strings of his golden forminx, and with you sings the praises of the feasting gods. We salute you, daughter of Kronos and Rhea, who alone brings firelight to the sacred altars of the gods. Hestia, reward our prayer, grant wealth obtained in honesty, then shall we always dance around your glistening throne. And to the many other gods, goddesses, and powers, hospitality, and the hearth that care to listen here within the temple of all powers, do I also pour sweet libation. Would you care to share? For among the things that our wise teacher said, mark this well with a wise heart. Whenever you come to your house, offer good sacrifices to the eternal gods. Welcome, travelers, to the temple of Chiron, teacher of heroes, first teacher of the medical arts to humanity, foster son of Apollo, foster father and teacher to a few individuals you might have heard of: Achilles, Jason, Heracles, Theseus, Asclepius. Each great in their own right, each involved in a story still told. Chiron learned from the divine twins of Olympus, Apollo and Artemis. From Apollo, he learned medicine, music, prophecy, astrology, and gymnastics. From Artemis, the arts of hunting, archery, and combat. When his time of training with them was done, he settled in the Pelion Mountains, called also the Healing Mountains in eastern Thessalia, in the Pelathron Valley, where many trees bore fruit, and many plants and herbs good for medicine grew in abundance. He dwelt there in a comfortable cave, with tall ceilings and roughly the size of a large living room. A bed plate was big enough for 2 people along one wall, and a stone wall around the outside had a door. A cozy, well-sheltered private space to contemplate how things work within the embracing bosom of Mother Gaia, the energies that flow through her. It was in this sanctuary that he taught those heroes whose names we remember, and some perhaps that we do not. This form of shelter was and is common in that area, and shepherds still today will seek refuge in such caves in foul weather, or use them to hold their sheep overnight. Even now, the idea of wisdom being sought or channeled within a cave remains a part of our mythic reality. Consider the pivotal moments in the hero stories of the modern world. Luke Skywalker faces his fears in a cave and gains a powerful warning that if he does not learn to trust his intuition and the guidance given to him, he will become the very enemy he seeks to confront. Where does Tony Stark make his first reactor to power what becomes the first Iron Man armor? In a cave. Thor seeks the advice of the Norns, wisdom for how to confront an ancient enemy long unseen, by swimming in a pool deep within a cave. Superman's fortress of solitude, which carries the knowledge sent with him from the world of his birth, is a cave. Within the cave, we have an opportunity to face what is inside us unseen, that we might better stand strong in our power against that which is without. Learning to see what hides in our darkness and incorporate the fullness of who and what we are allows us to be warned against becoming what we strive against, and allows us to see more fully the light we carry. This is the province of a hero's work. But what is a hero? We have a tendency to think of heroes by their deeds. The quarterback who wins the game. The soldier who slays the foe. But this is overly simple. Hero is a title that must be earned, and deeds must be done. But one does not perform one valorous act and become anointed a hero forever. A hero must confront reality, clear-eyed in their own capacity, and make a choice to act in a way that will benefit others. Throughout Western history, people have attempted to codify what constitutes heroism beyond that point, creating elaborate rules in the code of chivalry, oaths of military service, pledges of loyalty. That list could go on. And yet, all of those have failed and created villains in their own way, because they attempt to create a sustaining system out of something that must be personal choice. Consider the failure of Achilles. It was noble to seek vengeance for the death of his shieldmate Patroclus. It was heroic to follow a king appointed by the gods to war. But then he followed his rage and took actions from a place only of anger, without considering consequence, without considering impact on the world or the rules of the gods, and he desecrated the body of his enemy. And this was a thing so ignoble that the gods themselves intervened, and it led to the downfall of Achilles. What then does Chiron teach? You might think he teaches how to fight. That is only a small part of what is required to be a hero. Chiron's weapons, the bow, the spear, are only mentioned in reference to hunting. His combat is a matter of hand-to-hand for the most part. And he is known more for his wisdom than his fighting. Very little direct speech or appearance of Chiron is attested in myth. Besides the exhortation to make good offerings to the gods on arriving home, one of the only other direct statements from his lips that we have surviving is, "Decide no suit until you have heard both sides speak." Consider carefully what happens around you. Much of what we know of Chiron is how other people speak of him in his absence and wish that he were present. When he is mentioned, it is nearly also always related to a hero who has healed someone with skill that he has learned from Chiron, or a lamentation of someone saying, "Would that I had the wisdom of Chiron to consult in this moment. Would that my hands held the healing grace of Chiron that I might save you." We also know that it was Chiron that taught Dionysus many chants and songs and dances, initiating him into the mysteries for which he would become later known. What does Chiron teach? A little bit of everything. To be a hero, you must know yourself, all arts and skills, that you might better confront yourself and the reality around you. So you may be wondering, what could be expected in a year with Chiron? A year of questions. A year of learning with great encouragement. What is it you've been meaning to dig into? Is there lore that you have been meaning to study? Some skill that you have been meaning to acquire or deepen? Time with Chiron will tell you the action of a hero is to grow, to learn, to be able to do more, and to share that learning and growth and capacity with your community. So I invite you now, while we hear the modern bard, Thanasis Cleopas, give praise to Calliope and Apollo, consider deeply what things might be on your list that you have been meaning to begin, to deepen, that hold your curiosity, and record those thoughts howsoever you may. I have here some paper. Many of you likely have a supercomputer that travels with you, with the ability to carry notes. There may be something you feel so passionate about that you wish to share that inspiration, that aspiration with those around you. The journey to heroism is personal, and the answer to what will Chiron bring will lie in the answers you find in your own contemplations.
δέσον απαλσέων, εμάς φρενάς δονείτο, καλλιοπία σοφά, μουσον προκαθαγέτη τέρπνον, σοφέ μισθοδότα δίλιε πεάν, ευμένης παρεστέμι.
Well, that is only enough time to begin to contemplate such a heavy thing. The time that I have to spend with you is coming to a close. And I thank you for the time here in the house of Chiron, and hope that you will carry encouragement, enlightenment, and most importantly, permission to pursue the passions that will enrich everyone with you, however you may ultimately decide. And now I offer again sweet libation to attentive, heart-tending, and blessing powers whose attention has come our way, and most especially to great Hestia, for blessed are they who make offering to Hestia both first and last. Journey well.
Thank you, Temple Chiron. Temple Ma. Do you need fire?
I welcome you all to the Temple of Ma'at. Before we speak of her, I offer you the opportunity to cleanse and refresh yourself with cool water. As this water comes to you, let your hands sink into it. Let the coolness of the water purify you as Tefnut purifies. Let it refresh you as Ra is purified by the inundation. We grant the energy of this cool water to those who join us from afar. May you too be purified and refreshed. And if you will repeat after me, I am pure.
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 Now we are ready to speak of Ma'at. Give her reverence. Ma'at, awake in peace and turn your face kindly towards us. Accept this gift of pure water. May it refresh you as the inundation refreshes. Give you natron, this natron which is the natron of Horus, this natron which is the natron of Tahuti, this natron which is the natron of Geb, this natron, your natron among the gods. We gift you incense. We gift you incense, great of purity. We gift you food and invite you to come to this feast, to take refreshment, to strengthen yourself, that we may be strengthened through you. We live because you live, and we are strong because you are strong. Ma'at, come among us and be welcome. Do a Ma'at. Do a Ma'at. And you may be wondering at this time, what in the world is a Ma'at? And I will tell you, the answer is very simple, but it isn't very easy. Ma'at is the order of the world. Ma'at is all that is truth and harmony and beauty and justice for the ancient Egyptians. Ma'at comes forth at the first occurrence, the first time, Zep-Tepi, when the Creator was in the watery abyss of chaos, the waters of Nun, and he was alone and wished to bring forth other beings, that the world would be filled with life and joy and energy and movement. And in that first moment, he arises to a mound of sand. He arises from the waters to stand upon a mound of sand, and he breathes out, and his breath becomes Shu, the god of wind, the god of air, who is called life, and he spits out, and that becomes Tefnut, who is the goddess of moisture, who is the nourishing moisture and rain. And in Heliopolis, they say that these first two beings are life and order, Shu and Ma'at. And when the Creator, who in Heliopolis is Atum, says to Nun, the watery abyss, "What now? Here I am. I have created others, but still I feel alone. How shall I feel invigorated? How shall I feel alive?" The waters say unto him, "Kiss your daughter Ma'at. Bring her to your nose. Lift her up, that she may gladden your heart. Carry her with your son, whose name is life. She shall gladden your heart, she shall strengthen your heart, and he shall uphold you. Keep her by you always, and thus shall you live." And Ma'at is recognized from the third dynasty onward in Egypt as an organizing principle and as a goddess. Ma'at stands for all that the gods wish life upon the earth to be for us. And she represents right acts. She represents the way things ought to be. So in her purview is everything from the laws of physics, the laws that say the sun shall rise every morning and set every evening, to the rules that govern interactions between human beings, that we should respect each other, that we should hold each other up, that we should do justice, that we should think of the results of our actions and act with consideration when we interact. She is all of those things. She's simple, but she's not easy to understand. She is both the most abstract concept in the whole Egyptian cosmology, because what is right is a question people have struggled with the whole of human history. But she is also, of all of the gods, the closest to the heart and the home, because everyone has a role in creating and strengthening Ma'at. When the coffin text that speaks of Atum embracing Ma'at goes on to speak of Ma'at as the nourisher of the gods are fed on Ma'at. She permeates all that is good and right and orderly in the world. And that is the food of the gods in this worldview. And it is the job of all of the human beings in Egypt, from the pharaoh down to the peasants, the average person on the street, to do Ma'at every day, to create Ma'at every day, to strengthen Ma'at every day, because the Egyptian worldview is perilous. The opposite of Ma'at is a concept called Isfet. Isfet is lack, it is disorder, it is destruction. It has to do with greed and corruption and putting yourself above your fellow human and despoiling the environment and ruining those things we all ought to share. And so you have the forces of Ma'at upheld by righteous actions versus the forces of Isfet, which grow stronger when we do those things we know we ought not to do. And this is created in myth through the nightly struggle of the bark of Ra, the bark of the million years, which is the sun, rises through the sky, descends into the underworld, circulates through the underworld in the night, and must fight off the ravages of the serpent, whose name we do not speak. Each night, Ra and the gods must fight off these forces of destruction, these forces of Isfet, so that the sun may rise again. That is the world in which Ma'at is enthroned. And if you look upon the world as it is today, you may think, well, there's a lot of Isfet out there. There's a lot of greed, there's a lot of corruption, there's a lot of despoiling and failure to treat each other with kindness, compassion, respect, failure to do those things which we all know we ought to do, but we do not do in the race and the struggle to get ahead or to become something above others. And so I bring to you the idea that Ma'at is timeless, that the need for Ma'at is timeless, and that even though we do not live in the Egyptian world, we still live in a world where that sense of balance and harmony, truth, justice, order must be strengthened and supported lest it be destroyed. That is the gift and the work of Ma'at. And in Egypt, this was work that everyone did every day. To build up Ma'at, to do good deeds, to do what is right, and to throw down Isfet, to weaken it, to curse it, to trample it underfoot, to struggle against it in every possible way. Thus did the sun rise every morning. Thus did the Nile flood every year. Thus did we generally all have enough to eat. And this is the world they were living in. And I think it is the world we are living in now, where that struggle is always with us, where that need to support what is good and right, what is true and balanced, and creating a beauty and harmony is always with us. Ma'at is a strange goddess in the Egyptian world. She had no cult centers. She had very little worship addressed directly to her, but her worship is an action. And those actions would be ritually collected, consecrated, strengthened, and offered up to the gods. There is no surviving ritual to Ma'at, but there are rituals of Ma'at. The offering of Ma'at to Ra, the offering of Ma'at to Horus, the offering of Ma'at to the creator gods. So even though she has no rituals of her own that have come down to us, she occurs in daily worship of all of the other gods. And she occurs in what is probably the most famous Egyptian text to come down to us, the books of the dead. The Egyptian, the literate Egyptian, the Egyptian who was likely to be provided with a book of the dead for their own passage into the underworld, would know that At the end of the process of navigating the underworld, they would enter into the Hall of Maat, the hall called the Hall of the Double Truth, and that they would be called upon to attest that they had done right in the world, that they had done all of the things they were meant to do, and very few of the things they were not meant to do, in order to pass successfully into the blessed afterlife in the field of reeds. And this comes to us in the form of Book of the Dead literature, often in the form of negative confessions, where the soul in the underworld would enter into the presence of Maat and Thoth and Anubis. The heart would be weighed against the feather of Maat. Have you done right? Have you done wrong? Are you weighed down with his fet? Perhaps your heart is too heavy. Perhaps your heart is too light. Perhaps you have not done all of the things you were meant to do to balance with your own truth. And you would be called upon to testify in your own behalf to say, I have not done thus and such. I have not done these 42 things, which are different for different people, by the way. There is an individualized, as far as we can tell, set of negative confessions that are found in different places at different times. But we would say things like, I have not spoken in anger. I have not murdered anyone or caused anyone to be murdered. Some of these things were fairly easy for the average person to accomplish, right? I have not murdered anybody or caused anybody to be murdered. I can check that box. I have not spoken to anyone in anger is a little bit more difficult for me to imagine. Sometimes you would get statements you would have to make to Maat that would be things like, I have not consorted with the powerful, nor have I oppressed the downtrodden. I have not been rich alone. That's my favorite one, honestly. I have not been rich alone. So we get an idea of some of the things that were important to these followers of Maat, to these people who knew they would be accountable to Maat. And I would like, in our last few moments together in this time, to ask you to think about a statement you could make. And I want to point out that I think this is kind of more interesting if it's a statement more like I have not spoken in anger. Because the Egyptians have this idea, a magical technology called Hekate. And Hekate is the speaking of words with will. And so sometimes when we say, I have done a thing or I have not done a thing, it's really pretty aspirational. But it is intended to transform you into the person who does not do that thing. And so I invite you to take just a moment and think about maybe a place where you don't quite live up to your own values in community. Maybe a place where you find it difficult to uphold the things that you know to be right. And I saw some people making some faces. So I know that this is not a thing that happens just to me. This is a thing that happens to other people. And I invite you to take this moment to practice Hekate, to say with all of your will, with your magical will behind it, I do this thing, or I have done this thing, or perhaps it's something that you would like to avoid, but you don't always. To say with all of your will, I do not do this thing. And to let that act of will begin to transform your relationship to Maat. And this is a thing you do out loud, and I'm going to go first. So I invite you to stand when you have something to share, if you have something to share, and to speak it out loud with your will behind it in the presence of the gods. Mine is, I have the courage of my convictions. And And I invite you to share yours. Are there other statements to be made?
If not, thank you.
One more moment. I'm sorry, one more moment. So there's a ritual move here,
Okay.
which is that we gather up that ma'at, which we generate through our will, through our Heka, through our magic, and we offer it to the gods. We offer it to the holy ones. We offer it to ma'at, to the creators, to those who preserve us, that they be strengthened, that they be fulfilled, that they be strong, so that we are strong. And we say, Inu ma'a. Truly, it is so. Thank you.
Thank you, Temple Ma. Temple Hekate.
Take a moment and with a breath, gather yourself together. Gather yourself at your core to be centered. Holy Mother, in whom we live, move, and have our being, from you all things emerge, and unto you all things return. Hekate, I offer you mixed wine and food, and I call you by hymns ancient and modern. Come to me, O beloved mistress, three-faced Selene, kindly hear my sacred chants, night's ornament, young, bringing light to mortals. O child of morning who rides upon fierce bulls, O queen who drive your car on equal course with Helios, who with the triple forms of triple graces dance in revel with the stars. You are justice, and the Moira's threads, Clotho and Lachesis and Atropos. Three-headed, you are Tisiphone, Megaera, Alecto, many formed, who arm your hands with dreaded murky lamps, who shake your locks of fearful serpents on your brow, who sound the roar of bulls from out your mouths, whose womb is decked out with the scales of creeping things, with poisonous rows of serpents down the back, bound down your back with horrifying chains. Night crier, bull-faced, loving solitude, bull-headed, you have the eyes of bulls, the voice of dogs. You hide your forms in shanks of lions. Your ankle is wolf-shaped. Fierce dogs are dear to you, wherefore we call you Hekate. O indomitable darkness that dwells in the heart of light, O formless fire that informs the womb of night, O woman astride an open grave, giving birth to life, O child with a dog's face, whose left hand is a knife. Polymorphos, polyprosopos, aphratos, apletos, anessa, anessa, Hekate. O mile-high bull who pulls the plow through a field of stars. O companion on the journey whose touch heals journey's scars. O infernal flame whose heat begins celestial wars. O sound of 3 dogs barking with no apparent source. Kaleose, Cluthimeu, Anessa. Kaleose, Cluthimeu, Basilea. Kaleose, Cluthimeu, Hekate. O radiant serpent who sheds the night to reveal her true complexion. O 6 hands crowning a flaming eye, extending in every direction. O mirror taking what's without, within, to forge unseen connection. O tongue that tells the sacred names with intimate inflection. Polymorphos, polyprosopos, aphratos, apletos, anessa, anessa, Hekate. You who taught the Thessalian witches how to draw down the moon. Draw down to me. Draw down to me. Draw down into me, Hekate. I will dress myself in saffron, as you are said to wear. I will veil myself in red. Come down, Hekate, and speak your truth to these people. In a time before you knew time as it is today, the Titans ruled, ancient primordial forces. But there was a spark growing, an ember warmed in the heart of Zeus, hidden from his murderous father. And Zeus came to me and asked my help and the help of certain Titans, the sun, the moon, and others, to bring down the reign of the Titans so that he could free his siblings and bring about a new age, an age of gods, who would work with humankind. And other titans he went to, he said, there will be an Olympian who will rule over your domain, but it will still be your power. For you to join us, you must give up some portion of how you work, how you rule. But to me, he said, I cannot do this without you, Hekate. And I said, I know. And he said, I will take nothing from you. I said, you could not. And he said, you will still have full portion of the heavens, the sea, the earth, and the underworld. You will have free access to all of them, to travel as you will, to work as you will. And I said, I am always there. And he said, I will not bend or constrain your power. And I said, I am always unrestrained. He says, there's nothing I can offer you or take from you. I said, I know. And he said, still then, I have to ask, will you aid me? And I said, I will. Of all the titans, unrestrained, unchecked, unchanged, that is my lot. Goddess, not of specific things, specific places, but of the paths between, of liminality, the gate between all things, the choice point of change, of transformation. And so I am a goddess of birth and a goddess who greets the lost souls who have just passed, because I am there at birth. I am there at passing over. Because I am all passages between. In the coming year, many have heavy hearts and are asking, how will we get through? I am she of coming through. And I will be with you. Elected or not, I will be with you. When Demeter was looking for her lost daughter, I was her companion, holding torches as she searched. When her daughter was coming back up from the underworld, I was her companion, holding her hand in dark passages to come back to the light. That's who I am. It's what I do. I hold a light. I guide along the way. Every choice point, every crossroads, every place in between. I'm there. I'm here. From the grand cosmic scale of things, where I hold the keys to the entire cosmos, and in the dust of my feet are the hosts of heaven, to the microscopic places between the particles that point of observation, of collapse, of possibility becoming real. I am that passage too. And that's a lot. That's very abstract. But I also love people and dogs and living and good food and ritual. The Orphics said that I dance ecstatic Bacchic rites with the souls of the dead, that I delight in seeing deer, that I am there at the whelping of puppies. I am just as much the girl in the yellow sundress buying dog food at 7-Eleven as I am a great cosmic ineffable force. My guidance is not just companionship. I am also queen of the witches, teacher of scrying, of magic, of witchcraft, teacher of skills for those who are living under oppression and injustice. I am she who breaks chains, who frees the unjustly imprisoned from their cells. I teach witchcraft to those who need something to do when their actions are bound under oppressive laws, under hard situations. And I will teach you if you ask. There will be time soon for questions, and I will answer. I am she to whom the witches pray, who deeply loves the night and dawn and day, and those who gather in my name. These are keys that I have blessed to open doors for you, not physical ones, but those that trouble your heart, that you struggle against with your mind. Use these when you need the roads to be opened and a way to be clear at the crossroads. When you need guidance, call on me and hold this key above your cards or runes or bones or stones or scrying bowl. And listen for me. In the space between your breaths. And I will be there. Take a key When you find yourself at crossroads, my sacrament is choice, is decision. Take a handful of those. Thank you. I wait for questions.
Thank you, Hekate. We now come to the portion where if people wish to ask questions, either in person or online, feel free to do so. Is the mic picking it up? Yes. Okay. Any questions from the floor? Yes.
My question is to each of you, of how you would support the children of our community in both more of them coming and with the programs that we have for them.
I'll let you go first.
One of my epithets is Kurotrophos, nurturer of the youth, the young, of children. I do love children and care for them. I will aid your efforts to continue your children's program. And if you seek to promote it further in the world, seek my guidance, and I will give answers. And if you have struggles with them, just love them and keep them safe. They will bumble around as they are learning and have their struggles, which to them are the greatest struggles they have ever experienced yet, because it's their first time struggling with that thing. So keep that in mind with them, that it's all so new to them.
Thank you, Hekate.
Art in many ways offers children the same challenges as adults, but on their own scale, and the same blessings. A year with Ma'at would support the children in becoming the people they are meant to be, in becoming people brave enough and powerful enough to sit in their own heart, to know what is right and to do it. And also, Ma'at brings a blessing of recognition of that beauty of the world And so this too is something that children need to be able to look at those cycles of nature and truly appreciate them for the miracle that they are, and to look at the love that they are given at home and the love that they are given in community, and to appreciate too that blessing. And that, I think, is true no matter how old you are.
Thank you, Mahat. Oh, Chiron.
It is never too early or too late to begin to consider, what do I need to know? What would you teach your children if there were no limits? If you were asking, what do I need to be sure that they know to navigate this world as it exists? What skills would I impart? What joys would I instill? And in patronage of Chiron, we'd have a mighty ally in finding those things and ways to pass them on. Many of the great heroes of myth began their training as a child with ways of thinking, ways of being. So begin there. Consider being free to pursue all good things.
Do we have another question? Seeing none at the moment. Temples, powers. What would you ask of us on a weekly ritual basis to do for you? Since Hekate went first last time, how about Mom? Sure.
What Maud requires on a weekly basis is attention to her principles, and that her followers, her people, should make deliberate choices to uphold those principles and to recognize themselves and each other in that work. You may find that adopting an Egyptian ritual style upon occasion is useful and helpful. You may find that simply performing that gift of your good works to those gods who support you and nurture you is beneficial. And those are the kinds of things that Maud would ask of you.
There's archaeological evidence that Chiron was worshipped in the ancient world. That's all we have. We don't have any survival of the cultic rites or the forms of ritual that were observed. And that gives a lot of freedom. Freedom to worship in a way that makes sense to you. Freedom to experiment. Is there a way to make things that we have always done new? Is there something we have not tried that we wish to take the courage to embrace at this time? So a year with Chiron is a year of asking, what am I learning? What can I bring with it?
Thank you.
Before I came to the Greeks, I was in Anatolia And before that, to the south of that, in the Fertile Crescent. And after the Greeks, I traveled to Egypt, to Syria, to Rome, to Britain. There are more ways to honor me than there have ever been. And so there are so many ways you could do so creatively and still be in a spirit I appreciate. It does not have to be traditional. It does not have to be Hellenic. It does not have to be witchcraft. It can be simple. It can be extemporaneous. It can be things that you create anew as you go through your year. There are no limits I would place on you on how you would express that through the year.
Any other questions? Any online?
What work do each of you or your temples believe the community most has to do to live within the values we've already put into our mission statement?
My internet connection is unstable. So now that we are back. Teachers rarely give direct answers. And this is not because they enjoy being enigmatic.
Buzz.
It's not because the good ones enjoy being enigmatic. A question like, what do we most need? Is something that can't be answered from outside. What you most need is what you know you most need. If you say it is so, then it is. And the question that comes back to you is, how will you find it? How will you join together with your community to co-create it? If you do not have the skill, if you do not have the materia, who does, or who knows where it is?
Thank you. Hekate. Are you able to answer?
Do all the things that you do with enthusiasm, with passion. Do it as fully yourselves as you can be. On a grand scale, life is short. And the time that we spend together in community, finding joy and magic and purpose and power and freedom is even a smaller part than that. So bring yourself to it fully. Do it as completely and wholeheartedly as you can. That's your work. Revel in it.
Thank you, Hekate. Tanhomaha.
What Maud would have the community do most urgently is to live your values. And not just live your values, but live your values in a way that supports and upholds the world you wish to create. Some values, this is easy. If we value kindness, it is very easy to see, how we can live kindness in a way that creates the world we wish to create. If you value strength or creativity or imagination, how can you put those values in the service of the world you wish to live in, of a good, just world? So it is not enough just to hold the value as an abstract concept. There must be action. There must be action always.
Do we have any final? Yes. Or not final, if people are urgent, if people really want to ask questions.
So in a year with you as our patron, what would you suggest as a plan or approach for attracting more people to become involved with Gaia Community?
Which one are you asking?
All the
All
temples.
Okay. Okay. Who's up first again? This,
Be
I think.
Find more ways to participate with other groups that are doing things, to be seen in public doing the things that you do in places where people can see you. Having a small sign at the side of the road only works for the people who are on that road. And there are better ways to be seen than to stay off the sidelines. And so find ways to make yourselves known.
Temple Mahat.
Temple Mahat has a very similar answer. Do your work. Do your work where others can see you. Let what you are good at shine. Let the beauty that you create together shine so that you can be found. Reach out, support the wider community.
Thank you. Temple Chiron.
There's very little to add. One is known for staying in one place. In his cave, things are brought to him. People are brought to him. That works when you are the famed son of a Titan, taught by the Olympian gods, and perhaps less well when you are people. At least people who do not carry a tremendous weight of myth. So as the other temples have told you, go forth, do your things, do them beautifully, and do them often.
Thank you all.
The Temple of Maat has gifts as well. In the Kemetic tradition, we make food offerings to the gods that the gods may partake of the spiritual substance of the food. But the Egyptians were very practical people and they did not wish the food to go to waste. And so there is a practice in Kemetic pagan version of offerings where we say unto the gods, Mighty One, great of heart, who have accepted and delighted in these offerings, revert them now to your servants for joy, for strength, for stability, for life, that we may go forth and do your work. In your mind.
In your mind.
Truly, it is so. I offer you dates. I offer you cookies. These are called mamoul. They are fig and walnut cookies. I also have nut pastries with saffron and honey. These all have gluten in them. Dates, not so much. We give sweet things to the gods because the truth is sweet.
Happy pass that around.
Would you like to? Yes, that'd be awesome. Thank you. These are fig and walnut, and these are honey and pistachio or cashew with saffron. Take both.
Don't mind.
And you can take a date too.
If
you like.
Watch about the dates.
Dates are very sticky and they're very delicious.
Uh-huh.
This is going to
Uh-huh. Yes.
Yes.
sticky.
Well, we'll see. This is for chicken.
Passing it around, or is it just living?
Yeah, passing it around.
One for myself and later. I mean, I would love to have it, but I shouldn't.
Should not eat that which is toxic.
Right. That goes against my.
That goes against. Eat those things which are toxic.
Not every religion puts motion on.
I'll
get them later.
Okay. Yeah, feel free to come back around and grab another round if you like.
If there are other wrap ups that the other temples need to do, that would be a good time.
Are there any other questions?
Do we need to warn kids space? Are they bringing something down before ritual or just after ritual?
Are they
Don't
doing
know.
something to the temples?
I can do that.
They are.
Yeah, check. Okay, thank you.
Those were delicious. Simple not.
And these are very cute. The little net.
Yeah.
Cookies are called mamour.
The filled cookies are called mamour. These other things are katafi. They're popular all through the modern Middle East. And certainly date and nut pastries were popular throughout history in that region.
Yes, Big Newtons are. Or,
We often offer fig Newtons to toes.
right.
Some shared gnosis about that.
I always love that when you find something like big news or something. I know who would love this.
Man, those are childhood cookies for me.
A cookie is just a cookie, but fig Newtons are offering cakes.
Fig Newtons with vegetable cake.
Trying to hear down the hall.
Oh, you'll have.
They're not subtle.
No.
They come forward, you'll know.
See,
There they be.
heralds of the storm.
Storm, can I offer your children cookies?
Oh,
I think we have it backwards though, because we already have storm of glory.
yeah, they used to.
Right.
Having come first.
You got the piece? I love that so much.
Do you need assistance?
Yeah, okay. So
Oh,
you
very
wanna
cool.
talk about this one first?
Yes,
We need the mic.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm supposed to be
This is Mahat, remember?
Okay.
Yeah.
scared.
You're here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you don't have to.
I'll let you.
Come here, hey, Zayden.
So-
Felicia would like me to interview her about this.
Okay, all right.
And then Zay might be more comfortable too. You guys want to hear it up here, so you can all, I'll be down here and I'll interview you.
What?
Okay, who's first?
Me,
You?
I'm
Okay,
gonna do everything.
okay, all right, Zaylin, can you tell me who you've got? Oh, can you get the hat? Okay.
The hat's always falling.
The hat,
off.
the hat falls off, okay. All right, can you tell me who you've got here?
I don't remember.
Is this Ma'a?
Yeah,
Awesome, can you tell me about Ma'a? What do you know?
I added a bucket of rice for no reason.
All right,
I thought that maybe held the heart.
maybe that kind of makes sense, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And I have the wings.
Wings, okay. All right, very cool, very
I have
cool.
enough shirt slash dress I meant.
Very nice.
Has whatever this is. And
Oh,
it has a feather.
oh, very nice, a feather.
Okay.
All
And
right.
where's the other thing I have over it? Let me. This is the random thing over
All right.
I don't know why the heck I made.
Okay, hey, yeah, maybe this is somebody who is doing that.
And I gave it a stamp too. Ah, sweet. It's hats.
Bob.
We have a lot of enthusiasm.
We love it.
The children.
The hat is always
And she
falling
never lose
off.
her magic.
Gotcha, well, thank you.
And I'm going to sing for my sister because he's off.
No, oh, you would like, okay, you want to?
Don't you know?
What you got?
I got the random horse wheel.
Tyra?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, can you tell me anything about Tyra?
he has a book.
Oh,
And
okay,
apparently he was a teacher.
yes,
And
okay,
then a bucket of pillows.
yes, okay, to teach, yeah, yeah.
And
Wonderful.
then I gave him a key something to his shoulder joint because like he probably has a key for his classroom.
Oh, that makes sense. Uh-huh, maybe that is where he's wounded as a wounded healer. Sweet, okay, who else do you got here?
It's got Hekate.
All right, what can you tell me about Hekate?
He has two babies and two dogs to do animals.
That's fair, I get you.
And then he has a flaming hot torch that looks edible because it looks like Doritos.
Oh, yeah. A Dorito torch, I love it.
It looks like the outside wrapper of a baby bell.
I get that. Yeah.
That looks like nothing. Then breathing. I can put on.
Oh, okay, okay.
I didn't have a random green belt that I did put on because it was a snake.
Oh, okay, all right, I love that.
I then the yellow substituting for the red.
Okay, all right,
And then I put your shoes, so it kind of just I guess.
okay.
And then I saw two purple rocks that I feel like I had to add.
Very nice, I like it. Good job. All right, thank you. You want to come sit with me?
No, I want snack.
Oh, you want a snack? Oh, okay, well, let's get snacks then, okay? Oh, I forgot. There they go.
You want me to go back to them?
That might be not a bad idea.
Maybe just give them line of sight.
Right.
Yeah, you know, my side, yeah.
Part of witchcraft is in using improvised materials.
Yes.
Yes, you have to do what you can do with what you have to hand.
A random horseman.
A random horseman.
So having spent time today in the Temple of Many Powers, it is time to return to the world who most often live in. So I ask you to return your attention, flame of the chalice, that one bright point of light in the center of our circle, or on your home altar. Allow that flame once again to become the point of your awareness, to grow brighter in your mind's eye, until you feel the temple fading around you, until you lose sight of its wonders, until there is just that one dancing flame filling your mind's eye. And then take a deep breath with me. Allow yourself to retreat from the flame. Let it dwindle back to its modest proportions and to slowly return to the everyday world. Stretch your body, wiggle your toes, be present to our everyday world. We may journey again to the Temple of Many Powers, but that will be the story of another day, in particular, in 2 weeks. So now, announcements and offerings. So what's going on next week? Oh, wait. I know we have an SOS next week, correct?
Correct. We have Memorial Day weekend, and we'll have a sharing our spirits ritual where everyone who comes will co-create the ritual. With whatever we end up deciding we need to do most that day. That will be hybrid online as well, to the best of our ability.
Right. Do we have any committee meetings this week? I don't think so, but
We just did sacred social justice
And our
ritual for business.
right.
So I think we're clear right now.
Yeah.
Fourth week is quiet week.
Uh-huh.
I do have one announcement.
Yes.
Tomorrow evening at 7 p.m., Central Presbyterian Church is hosting I'm not sure what to call it. It's called Transcendental, I think. It is basically they're hosting anyone who wants to come and hear 3 lovely trans people from the community talk about their experiences. And they're serving homemade tamales. It is free. The Kansas City Women's Chorus is one of the presenters. And I know it's very last minute. You need to contact them, Central Pres, to say that you're coming, so they have enough tamales. But I think it's going to be a wonderful event and fun as well.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, David. Mike, yes.
This is not for this week, but it will be for the week after, the Saturday after, May 31st. Is a boots on the ground volunteer fair. It is social justice opportunity. It is going to be a lot of organizations together in one place in the afternoon at Second Pres.
Okay.
Not Central Pres.
Right.
That is what reminded me of, but it's mildly confusing.
Yeah.
This is at 318 East 55th Street. I'll put the link in our
Oh,
Discord
yes.
and social media.
I know
Again, it's
Pastor.
not this coming Saturday, not the holiday weekend, it's Saturday after that. In the afternoon from 1 to 4.
Thank you. And in 2 weeks, the powers presented, for those of you who do not know, will be Hestia, Athena, the Divine Twins, and maybe Paley? Question? Wait, right.
Tune in and find.
So. And with that. I ask you to stand as you are able, let us form the sacred team up. We'll do the short form.
You gonna do a call and response?
Yes,
Okay.
the circle is open but unbroken.
The circle is open, unbroken.
May the peace of the goddess go in our hearts,
May the peace of the gods go in our hearts,
and the dance of the god enliven our days.
and the dance of the gods enliven our days.
And may we care for the earth
May we care for the earth
and each other
and each other,
because our lives depend on it.
because our lives depend on it.
All together.
Merry meet, and merry part, and happy end. Thanks, friends.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look, if you all feel so moved to help us here now, we greatly appreciate it.